Points?
Just a perfect day.
Lou Reed.
That's correct. Secondly,
I've never been closer. I tried to understand that certain feeling carved by another's hand.
Human League.
no, it's Heaven 17. And finally,
Iggy Pop.
that is Iggy Pop and Lust for Life. 10 points for this. Answer promptly, and your answer may be expressed as an integer or as a power of 2. How many daughter cells will be produced in 3 hours by a single bacterium dividing by binary fission with a doubling time of 20 minutes?
St John's Wilson.
2 to the 12th.
Anyone want to buzz from Merton?
Merton Hudson.
2 to the 9.
2 to the 9, which is...
I thought I could give my answer.
Yeah, you can, actually. I was just testing, you know? It is 2 to the 9, it's 512. Right, here are your bonuses, then. They're on the Second World War. Officially designated Operation Chastise, what popular name was given to the RAF bombing raids of May 1943 carried out by 617 Squadron against the heavily industrialised Ruhr Valley?
Dam Busters. Dam Busters mission. Are you sure? Yeah.
Dam Busters.
Correct. The Dam Buster raids breached the Mearn and Ada dams by utilising the bouncing bombs designed by which English scientist and engineer?
No, sorry.
It was Barnes Wallis. Following the Dam Buster raids, 617 adopted what motto for their squadron badge, the phrase usually being associated with the French King Louis XV? You may answer in French or English.
No, sorry.
It's Après moi le déluge, after me the flood. 10 points for this. Sally rhubarb and German sausage are among the nicknames given to which plant now regarded as an ecological threat despite its initial popularity with gardeners, and named in part after the country from which it was introduced?
Merton Hudson.
Japanese knotweed.
Correct. Your bonuses now are on a Greek letter, Merton. Which Greek letter is the symbol of chemical potential and also of the coefficient of friction?
Mu.
Correct. Mu also denotes a multiplicative function in number theory, named after which German mathematician who gives his name to the surface with only one side and only one boundary component?
Mobius.
Correct. The same letter can also represent a muon, which along with the electron, the tauron and the 3 neutrinos is classified as what type of fundamental particle?
Lepton.
Correct. Another starter question now. A proposed system of semaphore, the first use of the biological term cell and a law describing the extension of springs and other elastic objects.
St John's Wilson.
Hook.
Hook is correct, yes. Your bonuses, then, St John's, are on ancient European languages. Oscan and Umbrian are among extinct languages formerly spoken in which present-day European country?
Italy?
Italy.
Correct. The longest single text in which ancient Italian language is housed in the National Museum at Zagreb and was written on a linen book, parts of which were subsequently used as a wrapping for an Egyptian mummy. Let's have it, please.
Etruscan.
Correct. What name is given to the main literary dialect of classical Greek, so called because it was written and spoken in and around the city of Athens?
Attic.
Attic Greek is correct. A picture round now. In your picture starter, you will see a photograph of an historical figure. 10 points if you can identify him.
St John's Ore.
Edward VII.
It is Edward VII, yes. That gives you the lead. 2010 marks the centenary of the death of Edward VII. Your bonuses are 3 more photographs of figures who also died in 1910. 5 points for each you can identify. The first is British.
Florence Nightingale.
Correct. Secondly, this Russian composer.
Tchaikovsky, you're right there. About the right date, doesn't look like him, though. Must we have a better guess? Go with Tchaikovsky. No.
Tchaikovsky.
No, I think he was dead by the end of the century, wasn't he? No, it's Balakirev. And finally, this literary figure.
Thomas Hardy.
No, that's Mark Twain. Another starter question now. Found on a Greek island in 1820, which marble statue is believed to be the work of the sculptor Alexandros of Antioch in the 2nd century BC? It was...
St John's Wilson.
The winged victory of Samothrace.
No, in the 2nd century BC. You lose 5 points. It was presented by the Marquis de Rivière to Louis XVIII, who donated it to the Louvre.
Merton Coleman.
The Venus de Milo.
Correct. Your bonuses now, as you retake the lead, are on the novels of Thomas Hardy. Which of Hardy's works, published in 1895, was greeted with such outrage that he said, "The experience completely cured me of further interest in novel writing"? He didn't write another novel for the remaining 33 years of his life.
I think it's Jude. I think it's Jude, so I can be sure.
Jude.
Jude the Obscure is correct. Which novel did Hardy's biographer, Claire Tomerlin, compare to Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream because, quote, "it is the dream of a winter's night, with witches instead of fairies, fateful journeys through difficult terrain, marriage plans which falter, and lovers who exchange their partners for no sensible reason"?
Return of the Native.
Correct. Which of Hardy's novels takes its title from a line in Thomas Gray's 1751 elegy written in a country churchyard?
Far from the Madding Crowd.
Correct. 6 minutes to go, another starter question. At one time home to a group of expatriate writers, including Paul Bowles, William Burroughs and Tennessee Williams, which North African city lies just to the east of Cap Spartel, the promontory where the Mediterranean meets the Atlantic?
Merton Hudson.
Tunis.
Anyone like to buzz from St John's? You may not confer, one of you may buzz.
St John's Tex.
Casablanca.
No, it's Tangier. Another starter question. What surname is shared by the Riga-born British philosopher whose works include historical
St
inevitability?
John's Ore.
Berlin.
Berlin is right, yes. Get these bonuses, you'll retake the lead, and they're on the primorial function. The primorial of an integer is the product of all prime numbers less than or equal to that number. What, therefore, is 5 primorial?
1, 2, and 3 would be 6. 4 is not.
It's less than or equal to 30.
Oh, okay. So we
It's sum or product.
I think it was product. I don't know. I don't remember.
30.
Nominate Bennett Spragg.
30.
Yes, that's correct. 5 by 3 by 2. And secondly, which integer also has a primorial equal to 30 if the term is applied to any positive real number?
Nominate Bennett Spragg.
5.5.
No, it's 6. It's still 5 by 3 by 2. How many positive real integers exist such that their primorials are each equal to 210?
Well, 30 by 7, so it would be 8, 9, and 10, because 11 would screw it up, so 8, 9, and 10. 8, 9, and 10 is 3.
Nominate Wilson.
3.
No, it's 4, I'm afraid. You missed out 7. Another starter question. First isolated from plants of the Solanaceae family at the University of Heidelberg in 1828, which alkaloid has the chemical formula C10H14N2?
Merton Hudson.
Ethanol.
No, St John's. Anyone like to have a go?
St John's Wilson.
Nicotine.
Nicotine is right, yes. That gives you the lead. Your bonuses are on characters in opera. Count Almaviva, a servant called Fiorello, and Rosina, who's Dr. Bartolo's ward, all feature in which opera by Rossini based on a comedy by Beaumarchais?
Don Juan? Or Barbara says? Both ways.
Barbara of Seville.
Correct. Which opera first performed in Milan in 1926 includes among its characters the Emperor Altoum and a suitor called Calaf? Come on, let's have it.
O Sole Mio, whatever O Sole Mio is from.
Come on.
Carmen.
No, it's Turandot.
Yes.
Beppe, who plays a harlequin in the Commedia dell'arte, and Silvio, who's in love with Nedda, the wife of Canio, are characters in which opera? Quickly.
Don Giovanni.
No, it's Pagliacci. 10 points for this. 3 minutes to go. Depicted in Bernini's statue of 1642 in the Piazza Barberini in Rome, which Greek god was the son of Poseidon and the messenger...
St John's Oar.
No, I'm sorry. If you buzz, you must answer. I'm going to offer it to the other side, and I'm going to fine you 5 points.
Merton Parkinson.
Triton.
Triton is correct, yes. That gives you the lead. Your bonuses are on artists. Which artist's works include a video portrait of a sleeping David Beckham and a series of photos entitled Crying Men, featuring actors such as Tim Roth and Michael Gambon? Quickly.
Sam Taylor Wood.
Correct. Which artist is noted for life-size sculptures in which he portrays himself as figures such as Sid Vicious and Che Guevara?
No, sorry.
It's Gavin Turk. My Major Retrospective was the title given in 1994 to the first solo show of which artist's work, noted for installations such as a tent embroidered with names and entitled Everyone I've Ever Slept With, 1963 to 1995.
Tracy Emin.
Correct. Another starter question now. Dukkha is a term generally used in which religion to refer to suffering, particularly in the teaching known as the Four Noble...
St John's Oar.
Buddhism.
Buddhism is right. Your bonuses now are on the heads of organisations. In each case, name the organisation of which the following have all been head. Stephen Lander, Eliza Manningham Bullard, Jonathan Evans and Stella Rimington. Quickly, come on.
MI6.
No, it's MI5. Cameron Cobbold, Leslie O'Brien, Edward George and Mervyn King.
Bank of England.
Governors of the Bank of England, yes. Kurt Waldheim, Javier Perez de Cuellar, Boutros Boutros-Ghali and Ban Ki-moon.
United Nations Secretary General.
Correct. That gives you the lead again. Another starter question. Originally a Catholic priest, which Protestant reformer was a chaplain to Edward VI? He fled to Geneva during the reign of Mary Tudor and returned to found the Church of Scotland in 1560.
St John's Wilson.
Calvin.
No, anyone to buzz from Merton?
Merton Coleman.
John Knox.
John Knox is right. That gives you the lead. Your bonuses are on Beatles albums. In each case, I want the album on which the following tracks appear. Firstly, for 5 points, Drive My Car, Nowhere Man and Michelle.
Nominate Al Ronnie.
Is it Rubber Soul?
It is, yes. Second, Taxman, Eleanor Rigby and Yellow Submarine.
Revolver?
Yes. And finally, When I'm 64, Lovely Rita and A Day in the Life.
Sergeant Pepper's
Sergeant
Lonely
Pepper is right. Another starter question. Powdered calcium sulfate hemihydrate obtained by heating gypsum is commonly known by what three-word name, both in medicine and in building?
St John's Wilson.
Plaster of Paris.
Correct. Your bonuses now are on travel writers. Which 1995 book chronicled the former Times sub-editor Bill Bryson's tour around Britain before his return to the US?
Notes from a Small Island.
Correct. Bruce Chatwin is said to have left the Sunday Times after sending a telegram explaining he'd gone to which? And undergone. St John's College, Cambridge have 175. Merton have 180. Well, who knows? If we'd gone on another minute, you might have won, but you've certainly got one of the highest losing scores, so you'll certainly be back. Merton, a terrific performance from you. She'll look forward to seeing you. Most importantly, you seem to enjoy it, which was a really nice thing to see. So thank you very much. We shall look forward to seeing you in round 2. So we now know the 4 highest scoring losing teams are Cardiff University, St Andrews University, Exeter University, and tonight's runners-up, St John's College, Cambridge. We'll be seeing them compete in the playoffs for the final places in round 2 over the next couple of weeks. I hope you can join me next time. But until then, it's goodbye from St John's College, Cambridge.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Merton College, Oxford.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.